we got to talk about Ukraine. It's actually a big story. Literally yesterday, this happened. This is a bunch of strategic bombers in Russia on fire, deep within Russia, far from the Ukrainian border. Operation Spiderweb. The day before, I had a clip go out where I said this. You don't know, the Ukrainian war, which is like the most recent high budget war in world history, has shown that the modern technology that is most important for war is drones. Drones have been dominant in the Ukrainian war right now. I got some pushback from that. Wait, I said one more thing. All military theory pre-drones is out of date because I said all military theory pre-drones is out of date. I got some pushback. And then within one day, everyone is saying that. Everyone, there's so many think pieces today that are saying exactly that phrase. All theory is out of date now that drones. Literally, the timing could not be better. Ukraine just rewrote the rules of war with this Operation Spiderweb, which is one of the most daring, incredible military actions of modern times. It's the first time a nuclear triad has ever been directly assaulted. It is incredible, like underdog success story in their battle. It is the single worst day for Russia since the war began. The worst military day for Russia. So I want to go over what this is. It's Operation Spiderweb. And that is where Ukraine utilized a new feature of drone technology that they built themselves to do deep inside Russia assaults on their bombing capabilities. Again, these are all being poured over by internet weapons guys everywhere, satellite images to determine the exact value, but the estimate is around $7 billion of damage done. And more than a third of Moscow's cruise missile carrier planes have been destroyed in one day. Now, this is incredible, specifically because Ukraine spent like a few $1 million. The ROI for what they spent to what they got is like absurd in the history of war. And I want to explain like high level what happened. But basically, in Operation Spiderweb, what they did was they used Russian trucking logistics, just Russian trucks going all over the country. They made secret compartments in trucks that housed drones, that had panels on the top that kept them powered. And they drove deep inside Russian territory, then activated them all at once. So like a mothership, all the drones flew out of the truck deep inside of Russia and blew up all the bombing target, all the Russian planes. And again, they've been planning this for a year and a half, and it has been called, like, it may change modern warfare because of the insane ROI, the insane asymmetric capabilities of drones. Again, I saw a meme that I wanted to show you. This is an American aircraft carrier. This is a UK aircraft carrier. This is a French aircraft carrier. This is a Ukrainian aircraft carrier. They use Russian trucks and a few $1 million to launch damaging drones from deep within. It's like a truly insane level of underspending to get results. When I mentioned the nuclear triad, if you guys don't know, the nuclear triad is a power that has the ability to deliver nuclear weapons from either land-based ICBM missiles, sub-based underwater missiles, or through planes. This is the first time that a nuclear triad has been attacked directly. The air capabilities of Russia have been reduced by a third. Some of the planes Russia lost, they can no longer make. Some of them they bought pre-sanctions and can't get. Like, it's serious damage. And these planes were being used to bomb Ukrainian cities, and they've been wiped out. I mean, it's a pretty significant strike. This is probably Ukraine's best day since the war began, just to be clear. And what's fascinating, if you go through how long they've been planning and working on this, is that it's a year and a half, which means they were planning this attack while this conversation happened.
I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States, and your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing.
And while this conversation was happening, this attack was being planned, and they did not inform the United States, which again is a break from how it worked under Biden. So they are not talking to the United States, and probably because they don't want it to end up in a text message. But what's insane about it too is that they did not use U.S. military weapons or aid. I mean, Ukraine built these drones themselves. They built these drones themselves with a fraction of the budget. I guess that's what's so worth paying attention to here, is how much drones are upending the math of the money of war. This is like an extraordinary result for this level of spending. I was listening to some Ukraine war coverage, and they were doing a back and forth talk on it. And one of them said, this is the finest operational secrecy since the Dallas Mavericks traded Luka to the Lakers. And again, even the day before this happened, Ukraine is losing its drone supremacy was a trending article. And then right afterwards, they striked 40 bombers in a mass drone attack. If you add up, this is Ukrainian reported losses, but even independent sources are saying this day marked the 1 millionth Russian casualty in Ukraine. This war, while brutal and bloody and still undetermined who could actually win it, it feels like an endless quagmire of disaster, is horrendous result for Russia. Putin thought this would be a quick and easy war, and it's been nothing but. It has been damaging to their economy, it's been damaging to their military, it's been damaging to their soldiers. It's been an absurd level of death on both sides. And as the losses add up for Russia, I mean, 10,000 plus tanks, aircraft destroyed, helicopters destroyed, cruise missiles destroyed. The cost is enormous. It is just a huge blow to the reputation that Putin was trying to create for Russian military superiority. Again, I want to emphasize that, like, Russia did not think this was possible. Some of the targets that Ukraine hit were as far from the front line of the war as New York is to LA. It was that deep into Russia. It was thousands of miles deep into Russia, and they were able to hit bombers that were in there. That level of penetration into Russia's defenses is like unprecedented during this war. So there was ceasefire talks today, immediately following this attack. A scheduled ceasefire conference happened. Surprise, surprise, they failed to come to an agreement. In fact, the talks lasted less than an hour. Everybody showed up, they got in the same room. The talks lasted like 42 minutes, and then everyone walked out. They were only able to agree on a prisoner swap, which is progress, but they weren't able to get any actual talks, little progress, given that both of them seem unwilling to budge on their demands. Zelensky, however, has said that Ukraine will continue attacks unless Russia halts offensive, saying they have the capability to do more attacks like this. His strategy is that, I don't know, peace through strength. His idea is that, you know, unless Ukraine shows credible threat, Russia will never actually back down. What's interesting is Ukraine was very, very quick to not only admit that they did this, but to show how they did it and make a big show of it. The strategic reason for that, it seems to be that it has caused a huge trucking backup in Russia because they now have to check every truck, which is causing supply chain problems, again, which is already stretched in Russia, given that they had those train issues. So, I don't know, pretty incredible. And I think the one other takeaway, Russia, it is being said, is planning a disproportionate retaliation. Now, we have to hope to God it's not nuclear, and I don't think it will be. But obviously, they're trying to make some sort of show out of this. But my understanding from reading as much as I could about it today, outside of nuclear, there's not some new thing Russia can do that they haven't been doing. They've already been playing all their cards. Like the reason they aren't mass bombing Kyiv is not because they are holding back or Putin's a humanitarian. It's because of the air defense there. Like they're doing what they can do in the areas that aren't air defended. So we'll see. I mean, God willing, no escalation, but this is what we're getting to. And it brings up another interesting point, which I think no opinion brought up, which is that, hey, this only reinforces the fact that America is behind on drone tech. Now, there's no realistic chance of China doing anything like this, but the fact is that China has like every shipping container in America and the best drone tech in the world, and it's just something we're ignoring. We spend so much money, but on things that are becoming out of date, to be honest. This needs to be more realistically understood. You know, this was revealed earlier this year, and it's not even their latest tech. They have a lot of drone tech that is being developed in China that is like not really well understood. Well, I think it was safe to leave them out in the open yet. My understanding is that they was so far from the front. First of all, they thought that Ukraine couldn't reach that far. And then secondly, this is unconfirmed. My understanding is they used to cover the planes with tires to make them harder to detect from like aerial checks. They put tires on top and they stopped doing that. They got really lazy with it. So there's like a single row, so it was much easier to find.
As Operation Spider's Web hit 34% of Russia's strategic cruise missile carriers, causing an estimated $7 billion worth of damage. In total, Ukrainian officials said 117 drones were used.
Dude, 117 drones to do $7 billion in military damage is crazy. Do you know what I'm saying? This whole thing cost 1/10 of like one missile. This type of attack would be scary as if a terrorist group were looking at it. Yeah, I mean, listen, drone warfare is scary, bro. You can't bury your head in the sand about it, especially for our military. I think it's shocking how much we spend to not be even close to cutting edge on drones. It's scary, but and then silence. Well, I'm just more of like, it's frustrating to see so much of our incredibly bloated military budget go to extremely expensive boondoggles that just serve to enrich contracting companies and will actually be useless in a modern combat. and listen, so my understanding is it doesn't change the balance of power too much. It's not like an incredible blow to Russia's military capabilities, but it is a massive symbolic and psychological victory. And the after-on effects of Russia not knowing what areas are safe now, and also having to like check every truck and boat and cargo crate, is economically disastrous. It also, you know, it helps entering negotiations to not be on the complete back foot, to not be feeling like you have to take whatever offer they give. It was only 107. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, that's a great point. That is a great point, dude. This is only 107 drones to do all this damage. It wasn't like it was 20,000 drones. It's a small amount. Imagine what 10,000 drones can. You know what I'm saying? Like, crazy. They're so cheap. On average, every drone did 60 million in damage. Yeah, and they cost nothing. The real follow-up I'm about to do as soon as we hear it is like what Russia's going to do in response.